Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I hope you're well. So in today's video we're going to be talking about the Fujifilm X-T3, this camera right here and here, because I have two of these glorious cameras. So in today's video is going to be a little different to the other one. The other one I've done my impressions on the camera and do I think it's still a relevant camera for today, and in that video you can go and check it out and see if I do think it's still a relevant camera. It's probably a hint that I do find them still a relevant camera because I've got two of these guys and I use them of my X-T4 for video for my stills photography because I absolutely enjoy using them. Though there are parts of these cameras, or this camera, which I absolutely hate, and I will go into that in this video. So what do we go over? Do we go over the hates? Because I've got a little list in front of me I wrote down because I had to really think about it. I really had to think about the dislikes for this camera. So, the first one. So if you forget to turn the camera off before taking the battery out, the camera completely does a factory reset, which is very, very annoying. It's happened to me on a few occasions, out on a shoot. I forgot to turn the camera off. I take the battery out, put a new battery in, and I go, what's happened to my camera? It's just done a complete and utter factory reset. Now, this is a known problem, and it goes for every X-T3. So what you have to do, if you're going to change the battery, is you've got to turn the camera off first, leave it for a few seconds. I typically leave it for about 20 seconds, somewhere around that sort of ballpark, and that's about an average. And then I take the battery out. Even if you open the battery door with the camera turned on, it will still do a factory reset, which is so very annoying. The X-T4 and other cameras do not do it. I don't know if the X-T2 done it before. Maybe it's just a problem with the X-T3, I'm not too sure. That's why I tend to try and charge the camera via the USB port on the side of the camera right here. So I hook up my power bank to it and I charge it out on location via that way. It's just a way of getting around that problem. I wouldn't recommend plugging it into the mains or anything to charge the camera because there could be a surge that goes through and it'll just fry your camera. Make sure you've got a trusted, reliable power source for the camera, otherwise it could burn it out. Next one. So the grip size is a little bit small, which is why I have an L bracket on the camera right here. The L bracket serves for two purposes. One, for when it's on the tripod, so I can go from landscape to portrait very easily. Two, is protection for the sides and the base of the camera, and the third reason is just for a nice larger grip. I find otherwise I'm pushing my hand into the right corner of the camera, and that seems to be how I grip the camera. So it seems to be more of a directional down movement versus, you know, your typical. I do like the button placement, it's very easy, and then if I want to shoot from waist level I can just go across, grip the camera like that and shoot in that way. I've also just noticed another thing which is across all of the cameras, and that is the rubber eyepiece, and that has torn again on this guy. Can you see? Yep, it's ripped off again. I super glued this in place and that's ripped again, so I might have to put some more glue on that guy or not use it at all. Grab it out of the bag, it gets caught on the bag, and yeah, it doesn't take much, it really doesn't. So some of the things in this list you might think are not really relevant, they're very small things. And that's because I was really struggling to come up with some cons for this camera. Otherwise it was just going to be about 2 or 3 cons. The other thing is battery capacity. They don't tend to last too long, which is why I've got 5 batteries. Mind you, that does go for both cameras because I've got the 2 of them. So yeah, this one is infrared, by the way, I should mention. This has been converted. I bought this like this, and this is my standard. So yeah, the batteries don't typically last long. I think I normally get about 2 hours out of them, 2 to 3 hours if I'm doing any long exposure work, because I love my long exposure work, as I'll show you just here. that's why I've also got a power bank that I connect to my camera via USB, charges the camera while I'm taking photos or when I'm not taking photos. So yeah, I've got alternatives to both, and I can charge batteries on location because I have a battery charger which is a USB one. I plug 2 batteries in, it charges both batteries, and I can charge it off a power bank or my car, so which is very handy on location. So the other one is the menus are a bit complex. So when I say complex, I'll go into it. So yeah, it's not the easiest, and they're very, very packed in there. And there's a lot of customization, there's a lot of sub-menus as well. So when I had my Canon 5D Mark IV, I thought I was going to be able to operate with 2 systems. But when I started using the Fuji more, I realised trying to go between the 2 systems just made it so much of a headache for me. I had to sell the Canon. But I've got no regrets on going to the Fuji. So yeah, menus are a bit complex, but once you get your head around it and you start to familiarise yourself with the camera, it's not too bad at all. And there's no in-body stabilisation with the camera, which in my book is actually a good thing for me, because there's been times when I've taken photos. My X-T3's got in-body stabilisation, which we're using to shoot this video on. A lot of the time I forget to turn the in-body stabilisation off when it's on a tripod. And then that causes, if you don't know what stabilisation does, so it's trying to compensate for movement. But when it's on a tripod, it's trying to compensate for movement that doesn't exist. So then it sort of tries and does little corrections to try and find out what's going on, and then you can come up with a blurry image. The X-T3 doesn't have that. I can do handheld shots with this down to a 15th of a second very easily. I've got lots of experience taking photos, so I know how to, the breathing techniques, the stance, the posture, how to hold the camera, everything. It isn't a big thing, so you can see where I'm at was really starting to struggle when it came to the cons. The other thing with these cameras is, it doesn't just go actually for this camera, it goes for all of them, is the Fuji lenses. They are ridiculously expensive, but they are lovely, they are nice, very sharp, good clarity and detail. Though that doesn't go for all of the lenses. I've had a few Fuji XF lenses and they've been less desirable for me. Now I've got my kit down, you can go and check out my other video for that, so you can go and see what lenses I do have. And I'm possibly going to buy another lens in the future, which is the 50 to 140, just to bridge the gap for me, because yeah, I've got a little bit of a gap there, and it's a very useful zoom range. But probably won't be getting that just yet. So yeah, lenses are very expensive, but I do have a cheaper alternative for you if you are interested, and I will be making a video on that, and that is using old classic vintage glass on your X-T3 or X-T4 or whatever camera you've got that is owned by Fuji. And with this cheap adapter, it works amazingly. Just be prepared to make some compromises, and I'll go into that in a future video. That pretty much covers the cons. Now we are on to the pros, which is actually quite a big list. I think I've got 10 items on this list, and I could possibly go for more, because yeah, this is just some of the things I could think of. If you own this camera and I missed some, let me know down in the comments, and so other people can see the pros as well. And also, if you've got some cons that you don't like about the camera, put it down in the comments section below. So yeah, let's get started. The first one, it's got a built-in intervalometer, which is fantastic if you're doing time-lapse photography, which is something that I tend to do. I don't tend to use the internal intervalometer much at the moment, especially if I've got a slider. So I've got a Rhino Arc 2 slider. I recently purchased a 42-inch slider as well. And yeah, it's just marvellous, and paired up with this camera, yeah, it's superb. It allows for great creativity. I'll link to some of the videos, maybe up above, so go and check those ones out. And also I'll link to it at the end of this video as well. It's also got dual card slots, which not many APS-C cameras have, or not many cameras have, to be honest. It's more of a thing these days. But there are still cameras which have the single card slot. Now you might be wondering, it's not such a big deal. I know myself it's not such a big deal, but there's times when you're probably out on a shoot and you travelled far and you just want to have a backup. You don't want anything to go wrong. So you can have it so it one of the card slots acts as a backup, or if you doing a lot of shooting, so if you're doing a time-lapse for instance, and you're taking thousands of photos, you can have it so it goes over to the next one when the first card fills up. So yeah, nice little feature, and it is all weather sealed as well around the memory card door, battery door, and it's all fully weather sealed, which is lovely. That is one thing I didn't actually say about it, is the weather sealing. So yeah, this has got a lot of weather sealing. Oh, this is already one thing I've already gone over. This can be powered but via the USB-C port, which is great. So even when the camera is fully charged, just bypass the battery altogether and it will go to the USB power source, and yeah, that's a nice little feature there. The image quality from this camera is absolutely outstanding. I absolutely love it. I've had multiple cameras over the years, and when people used to say to me, the Fuji system, the image quality is just second to none, as good as full frame cameras, and I used to go, yeah, right, and I think that's a load of marketing bollocks or something like that. I had APS-C cameras over the years, and I always found those ones to just be alright. It wasn't anything amazing, nothing to write home about. They're good, and then when you get to full frame and then you go even to medium format, then you really see a difference. But when I picked up this camera, I've had now for a year, I've been blown away by the image quality, and I don't mean that lightly. I'm just mesmerised by it, and also the picture profiles are just glorious. I shoot in RAW, so when it comes into Lightroom it does a reset, but in Lightroom you can go through the profiles and you can add it to the images, and then it's very little editing for me to do in post. Yeah, most of it is done through the profile, and I just give little tweaks here and there. I don't spend much time on editing my images these days, which is really nice. So it's nice to have a system which works for me. As I said, the image quality is just exceptional, especially paired with really, really nice glass, which is what is in my kit now. So the build quality of this camera is just lovely. I really love the metal body. I think it might be plastic as well. It does feel cold to the touch. I don't really know too much. If you were to ask me about Canon or the older Canons, I could tell you what parts are metal, what parts are polyplastic or whatever. But this camera, I don't know. I don't really know too much about the Fujis. I just know that I pick it up, I like shooting with it, I know the glass, and that's all I really know. Yeah, that's all that really matters to me these days. They are very solid. They are kind of weighty, but a good weight. They don't feel like some of the cameras, some of the new cameras these days, which are very light, they feel like a toy. This doesn't feel like a toy. Every time I pick it up, I enjoy using this camera. It's not like I pick it up and I go, oh, I wish it was a bit heavier, or I wish it had a bit of a chunk. Well, I do wish it had a bit of a chunkier grip, because it's quite small. My X-T3 has a small rig L bracket on there, and it's got a bigger wooden handle in front, which makes it a nice deep grip. This one is a bit shallow, but I've gotten used to it, to be honest, and a lot of my time shooting this is on a tripod, or I do a little bit of handheld shooting as well. It's great for a bit of street photography as well. Nice, low key, doesn't draw attention to anyone, which is great, and I love the tactile functions of this camera. It's just really nice. The dials, they're just lovely, they're tactile. I think I said in my other video, actually, I'll bring up a con actually, the on-off switch, which is this guy here, doesn't sit far back. I wish it sitted slightly further back, so it can easily get bumped in the bag, or when you're out on location and you didn't mean to bump it. And you've got all your shooting modes over here, and this is how you also go to your video. So unfortunately this dial here, this part here, can't be locked. You can lock the top dial, which is your ISO, but you can't lock the shooting modes, which is a little annoying, that one. And here is your shutter speeds and everything. I just tell them to keep it in T, and then I can control the shutter speed via the rear dial right here, so I can control it there. If you're shooting the camera in auto and you want to get it a bit brighter or a bit darker, you adjust that guy. You've got a custom function button there, which is currently what I use for my self timer. Nice shutter button as well there. It's not too small, it works, it's precise, and yeah, I love that little guy. PC sync right here, so that's for flash, And then here is your focusing mode. So you've got your manual, continuous, and single shot. So the other thing I really like about this camera is the video quality. It is absolutely stellar. And there is no crop when it comes to video, which I really do like. I had the Canon M50 prior to this, and when I shot in 4K, there was an additional 1.6 time crop, which I absolutely hated. It meant that my wide lenses were no longer wide. It was just never get the field of view, so I never used 4K on that camera. This guy, I use 4K all the time, especially when shooting little videos. I don't use it for like these sort of videos because I like to be able to, you know, check on the display, make sure everything's working, check the recording time, check all the focus and everything. So, and check on my audio levels. So yeah, I don't use the X-T3 for those sort of videos. I use it for other videos or, you know, B-roll. And you can also use the picture profiles and customize it as well for the video. You can also have the telly light. When you've got the telly light, so you know you're actually recording. This light here, this area here, lights up as well as the back, so it's really handy to know when you're actually recording. Yeah, that's one thing I didn't even mention. And there's no crop, glorious clarity, glorious image quality, and autofocus is just stellar. It's got eye autofocus now, eye tracking, all of that. When this camera first came out, apparently it was atrocious for autofocus in video. I don't find it atrocious whatsoever, but what I do wish they did do within the menu, I haven't found it, maybe it does exist, is the ability to be able to control the way it transitions through. I wish it wasn't so like clicky or so fast. I wish it done like you can control the speed of that autofocus, if you get what I mean, so it can go through nice smooth transitions. So that's the only thing. Other things are I can detach the lens with one hand. So when it's on a tripod or when I'm on location, I can just grab the camera. The switch to dismount the lens is right here. And all I do is that. It's super easy and very quick to do. So yeah. There's other cameras that I've had where it's been like over here, or it's on a separate button, maybe down in the lower corner. So I've had to been like two hands to detach, but with this, no, it's very easy and very quick as well. The other one, so my other thing with this camera is only got 26 megapixels. That is not a bad thing. It is really good for most things. If you do need more resolution, maybe you're doing some landscapes and you want more out of the camera, maybe you want bigger files, you're going to do some bigger prints, or you're doing some architectural photography, you know, anything where it's basically the scene is still and it's not really moving too much. Look at doing panos, doing multi-level panos. That way you're going to get more out of the camera, you won't need more megapixels. There's been a scene that I shot recently at High Force Falls, and I done a 2-level pano. It was almost 180 degree pano field of view, and that came to 130 megapixels. It's a lovely file, full of detail because it was shot on this, and I don't think that is ever really going to be necessary. 130 megapixels, you know. We get sold that megapixels means you can print bigger. Well, printing bigger doesn't necessarily mean you need a load of pixels. You look at a billboard, you see that on the side of the motorway and everything, and you see it from a distance. That's the thing, you're seeing it from a distance. When you see it close up, the pixels are like this big, or sometimes even bigger than that. They're like that, individual pixels. So up close you go, I can't see anything. But it's not until you're far enough away, then the image clears up and it makes sense. And your eyes make sense of those colours, and it's able to work it all out and produce the image that is presented in front of you. So, you know, those billboards aren't being printed at 300 dpi or 720 dpi. Canon is 300 dpi, Epson is 720 dpi. So yeah, don't get lost in the megapixels. The megapixels aren't as important as sales, pictures, and everyone makes out. You can get away with a lot. So, like even some bigger prints, you know, like a 40 by 50 inch print, more is better for those sort of things, but typically your viewing distance from those prints is 2 to 3 meters or further. You're very, sometimes I'll go in and just pixel peep and just see what clarity there is, but that is the perks when it comes to high resolution cameras, that you can go in and really check out the image up close. I loved it when I had my Hasselblad X1D 50C, and I could see that. I'd done an exhibition in Perth, and I got Foxlab Fine Art to do all the printing. We'd done fine art. We used fine art paper by Ilford, and it was just exceptional. And you could just see all the intricate details. That was so nice. But a majority of the time, you're going to view prints from a distance, or you're going to, it's going to be far away, or even when I've got like prints like on my wall here, a majority of the time, these are really nice prints, by the way, but I'm viewing them from a distance, and I'm not likely to, pixel peep. And when it came off of my printers, I looked at the details. Just like, wow, it's so nice to see a print in front of me. But it's not necessary to have, I think have I covered that enough? I think I have. I'm probably going to cut quite a bit out of that one, because I have gone on quite a bit. Maybe it's a bit of a rant, more or less. And the last thing is the image quality when paired with the right glass. And these lenses that I've got, I absolutely love. And as I said, I won't go into those because I already have another video on that, so you can go and check that out, and the gear I use. So and also check out my other videos when I've been on location and using this stuff. So anyway, I think that's everything. I can't think of anything else. If there is anything else, I will jot it down below. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been something that I wanted to do for quite some time. I've just been trying to, get more used to this camera system. There are things that I'm sure I've missed, and you can let me know down in the comments section below. Anyway, I will let you go on with your day, and I will get back to mine. And I look forward to seeing all of you in the next video. Okay, bye for now, and take care.